In Norway, where winter paints the world in shades of white and silver, lived a quiet boy named Eirik. His home was nestled near a cluster of lakes, which, for most of the year, were vast frozen mirrors reflecting the pale sky. Eirik wasn't one for boisterous games or loud chatter like the other children in his village. 2. He found his voice in the whisper of the wind through the pine trees and his companionship in the silent, glistening landscapes that surrounded him. He loved the stillness of winter, the way the snow muffled every sound, creating a world of profound peace. One particularly cold winter, when the lakes had frozen thicker than ever before, an idea sparked in Eirik's thoughtful mind. He'd spent days searching by the lake's edge, his eyes scanning the ice for the perfect piece. He sought ice that was clear as crystal, without a single bubble or crack. Ice that had captured the pure, cold light of the winter sun. Finally, he found it a long, solid shard, smooth and strong. With patient, careful hands and a small knife his father had given him, Eirik began to carve, day after day. He worked, chipping and smoothing, his warm breath creating small clouds in the frosty air. He wasn't just carving. He was listening to the ice, feeling its song. Slowly, a beautiful, translucent flute took shape in his hands. It was a masterpiece of winter itself, fragile, yet perfect. Eirik brought the ice flute to his lips. He blew gently, and a sound emerged not loud or sharp, but soft and ethereal, like the tinkling of icicles in a gentle breeze, or the sigh of snowflakes landing on a quiet forest floor. The melody was born from the silence he so cherished. It was a tune of calm, a lullaby for the frozen world. He played for the stoic mountains and the sleeping trees, his music weaving through the air, a secret shared with the winter. Fair. The villagers would sometimes hear the faint tor-ting-ting notes drifting from the lake and wonder at the beautiful, mysterious sound. Never guessing its source was a simple boy with a flute made of ice. Life in the village was peaceful, but the surrounding wilderness held its own dangers. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long, blue shadows across the snow, a sense of unease settled over the village. A lone howl pierced the quiet, soon answered by another, and then another, until a chorus of howls echoed from the dark woods. A pack of wolves, driven by hunger from the deep forests, was approaching. Panic flickered through the village, doors were bolted, and fires were stoked high, but the fear remained a cold knot in everyone's stomach. The howls grew closer, a ring of primal hunger tightening around their small, warm homes. The villagers huddled together, their faces pale in the firelight, praying for the dawn. But Eirik was not afraid. While others saw only a threat, he heard the desperation and hunger in the wolves' cries. He felt a strange connection to their wildness, a kinship with these creatures of the winter night. Holding his fragile ice flute, he stepped out of his home and walked towards the edge of the village. Towards the sounds of the approaching pack, the villagers watched from their windows, their hearts pounding with fear for the boy. They saw his small silhouette against the vast, moonlit snow, standing firm as the first shadows of the wolves appeared at the edge of the tree line, large, dark shapes with eyes that gleamed like embers in the dark. Eirik raised the ice flute to his lips and began to play. He didn't play a song of defiance or fear. Instead, he poured all the gentleness of his heart into the melody. He played the calm of the frozen lakes, the peace of the falling snow, the quiet strength of the ancient mountains. The music flowed from him, soft and kind, a stream of pure tranquility into the tense night air. It wasn't a command, but an invitation and offering of peace. The lead wolf, a great gray creature, stopped in its tracks, its head tilting as the strange, beautiful sound washed over it. Growling ceased. One by one, the other wolves fell silent, their menacing stances softening. The melody spoke a language older than words, a language of the heart that the wild creatures understood.
Pick the wolves.
Mesmerized by the serene tune, slowly lay down in the snow. Their powerful bodies relaxed, and their glowing eyes blinked slowly, the fire of hunger replaced by a profound calm. They rested there, listening as Eirik played his winter lullaby. The music told them there was no fight here, only peace. It eased their hunger and soothed their wild spirits. When the final, gentle note faded into the silent night, the lead wolf rose, not with aggression, but with a quiet dignity. It gave Eirik a long, deep look, then turned and trotted back into the forest. The rest of the pack followed, disappearing as silently as they had arrived. The village was saved, not by walls or weapons, but by a quiet boy and his song. From that day on, Eirik was no longer just the quiet boy. The villagers looked at him with awe and reverence, calling him the boy who played the winter calm. Too, they learned from him that true strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers a day, and they understood that even in the face of the fiercest storms or the most daunting fears, a gentle heart holds the power to bring peace.